I've been waiting so long for this, and it's finally here. I did my Tsushima Normal Guide Challenge, rewatched all of the stellar show that is Blue Eye Samurai to hype myself up even more, and all the Erika Ishii content I could get, as I love everything they do, before I get to experience them as Atsu, Yotei's main character. Ghost of Yotei is here, and we shall start it off with single katana only, just like I did as my first challenge for Tsushima. But Yotei has a bit more going for it with a single blade, as Atsu is capable of scaring her enemies with thrown katanas, and unlike my first foray into Tsushima, I know that assassinations can be done with the blade if it's an aerial assassination. Bows, guns, ghost weapons, horse charge, all the other weapons Atsu learns to use over her journey, non-katana assassinations, or throwables are all off limits. In terms of actual fights anyway, as they're allowed in non-lethal training settings or against inanimate objects. I am allowed to drink sake to restore my spirit, as long as I don't attack my enemies with the bottle. The wolf companion is also allowed, as I don't have control of her, but I can't purposely summon her, and I do keep her appearances to a minimum to make the challenge a little bit harder. All of this on lethal difficulty. Just in case it's not obvious, as this is a 100% playthrough, with how new Yotei is, spoiler warnings ahead. But less obvious, spoilers also for Jedi Survivor, for reasons you hopefully already know if you're watching this video. Now let's see how much blood has to be spilled by my blade before this hunt is finished. Wasting no time, the tragedy that propels Atsu into her life of vengeance is immediate, as the Yotei 6, led by Lord Saito, murders her family and pins child Atsu to a tree to burn. Retribution is also swift, at least for us, not for Atsu, as we jump forward in time to confront the first Yotei 6 member, the Snake. I wonder, does his awful hair make him an evil person? Or does being evil lead to awful hair? Despite my vast experience as a ghost, I'm downed right away as I'm introduced to Yotei's speedier combat system. At least Atsu makes me feel better about it by going down canonically while battling the snake, but she has both the skill to kill him at the same time, and then she rejects death after a very deep gut cut. There's no Yuna or medic to save Atsu, so she's gonna have to do this herself with nothing but her sheer willpower and hate, bringing her back from the edge of death so she can aura farm to the stunned villagers and then right off into the title card. Who needs medical attention when hate will suffice? The gorgeous ride through the field is a stark contrast to the ruined, burned home that Atsu has returned to all these years later. Even though you start immediately with the loss of her family, the jumps between past and present do a surprisingly solid job of developing love for Atsu's family and really drive home the loss of her home. How many families have a dueling ring for the children to beat each other in after all? What a tragic loss. There's so much heart in these memories. Though sometimes I really hope the memory isn't accurate to what actually happened. Heading out, I'm one with nature, riding alongside these wild horses, and then I'm one with nature in a much worse way when I'm mauled by a bear. Recovering from that, I head to the nearby inn so I can intimidate the local thugs into discovering more about the Yotei 6's operations. It does not work. Atsu is a true master of aura farming, until the moment I'm in control, where I aura salt the land so no farming can be done again. Especially as I'm too used to the buttons of before, so instead of initiating a standoff, I just awkwardly stare at my foes with my spyglass, which always causes them to fly into a rage for some reason. It's here I'm introduced to the Onryo's Howl attack that leaves enemies vulnerable to quick deaths. It technically doesn't do damage itself, and it's still only my blade doing anything, so I'm allowed to use for a while, thinking it equivalent to Ghost Stance from the first game. But I stopped using it shortly before dueling the Oni, as I felt it made combat too easy. It's not technically against the rules, it's just against my preference. Taking to the bounty board, I feel hunting the snake's assassin would be really easy money, but probably hurt me long term, so instead I seek out the other bounties. Before heading out, I come across the map maker, and all I could think of is him. Cornifer. He'd have this whole land charted in no time. And what a land it is. which mostly means I'm going to get distracted every few minutes by whatever catches my eye, instead of hunting down the Yotei 6. This challenge started out with only the story required to be beaten, but it became a 100% challenge because I couldn't resist the call of doing everything. Such as going against Crow Genzo, who makes use of pocket sand to improve his chances, though he was doing rather decently without it. Instead of parrying being the godly ability of the first game, stopping most attacks and allowing counterattack, Yotei forces me to really up my skill level in order to keep up with the subsequent strikes so I can make my window to counter. My love for game design appreciates the refinement of combat. My love for staying alive doesn't appreciate it quite as much, especially as I keep getting disarmed and killed before I can retrieve my weapon. Still, when the dude so commonly yells at me to prepare myself before he tries to disarm me, sooner or later I will successfully prepare myself as he suggests, and even though the moves require more back-to-back parries, they are mostly the same attacks from the first game, allowing me to defeat the first true duel. Other bounty hunters show up to kill me now that I stole their bounty, and I'm forced into using pocket sand, but that can be erased with a simple reset from checkpoint, allowing me to fight fairly, and very poorly. It's definitely a good idea to improve my blade right away then, and don some armor that will improve my health so I can easily win a duel at a dueling tree. As my journey continues and I fight each of the 4 other dueling trees, they don't fare much better either, which really is under-preparing me for the extreme pain I'm running steadily towards. Going up against my first Saito encampment, I learned that while I'm allowed to chuck katanas at people, that doesn't mean I successfully will, even with auto-aim, as I chuck it harmlessly into the environment instead. I've also come to see and appreciate that enemies are more defensive here than in Tsushima, less willing to throw their lives away, something I'm not so good about myself. Much safer to spend my time indoors, gambling away my money, playing a coin flip game. Actually really enjoyed this game, while at the same time hating it. The core of gambling, I suppose. Joining forces with a samurai lord, I push back an attack by the Oni raiders. It is great to have someone watch my back in combat for once, and it is even greater to discover he's my long-lost brother, Jubei. But wait a moment. I know that voice. I know that face. Bode! Everywhere I go, there you are! Wait a second. You're my family member, and you're played by Noshir Dalal, aka Bode. That combo is not a safe sign for the ending of this game. I'm gonna be keeping a close eye on you, buddy. Losing against a no-named raider multiple times while Jubei just watches sure does suck, as my parry game is not good enough to keep up with this guy's rapid flame strikes. But that's why I have the Charm of Last Chance, the best charm of all. For a minor charm, this one is a game changer, allowing me to auto-spend my spirit to heal whenever I take lethal damage. Without it, I probably would have died hundreds of more times, as it consistently keeps me upright long enough for me to win. Breaking through their lines, I'm turned away from helping the Matsumai samurai as they see me as just another outlaw, despite my foolproof disguise. What an eye for detail this commander has. Still, I'm past their checkpoint, so who needs them? It does have to be said, now that I'm free of my normal guy challenge, it feels so good to be able to take damage and heal through it. I rarely win a fight where I don't get hit at least once. But that's why I'm pretty much always drunk, so sake can keep refilling my spirit for more healing. And yes, I definitely become reliant on it, and it totally backfires. But I never thought drinking and dueling was a good idea in the first place. Just an easy one. After so much fighting, I take the time to relax and gaze upon the beautiful scenery. Also the world's slowest moving birds. That can't be right. Nor can it be right to slide down to your horse and, well, just keep sliding. He doesn't seem too perturbed, at least. Honestly, I think he might have a grudge against me or something, as shortly after, he blocks my view of a standoff, which I still won, thankfully, by staring at the raider's foot. Maybe he just likes to challenge me. I hope that's it. I have enough animal-related deaths already from these crazed bear attacks, after all. Only immense healing allows me to bear the pain and survive this one to save a scared horse. Minutes later, I'd be at the Yari training master, so he can teach me a new weapon I'll never use. Except against the suicidal fish here that love to leap to their obvious demise, or in sparring against the trainer himself. Each weapon is supposed to specialize against a different weapon, but the katana will have to suffice, and I'm just thankful I'm not forced into switching weapons here to fight back the raiders. While hunting down Mad Goro, a thief who stole from the Oni, my dearest brother returns and joins with me in the hunt. Goro isn't hard to find, for us, or for all the raiders and bounty hunters on his trail, but that just means more competition to eliminate. But with my brother at my side, none are much trouble, and Jubei makes for a great distraction while I sneak in close to fight, and then capture the crazed thief. Despite Atsu's protest, she goes along with letting Jubei take Goro in for questioning. Instead of following up on any of that, I'm off to get distracted defeating another Saito encampment, helping my wolf friend clear out a bunch of wolf hunters, working on my sword skills, eating a fox, getting mauled by another bear, killing bounty hunters, learning some new music, slaughtering even more hunters, and seeking out the legendary Undying Samurai armor. Too bad the Undying armor, already proving to not be as legendary as its name suggests, being I killed the guy who wore it last, is really terrible for me since it requires weapon alignment to be useful. As in, I need to keep matching the proper weapon to the proper enemy type. I think it's obvious why that won't work for this challenge, but just like my fully upgraded bow that I can't use, it's still nice to have everything I can hoard. Especially my old love, the patchwork hat. No matter what time period or which ghost I am, it always comes back to me. That added style and another sword improvement means I'm ready to wipe out even more of Saito's thugs before venturing after the dual katana trainer who resides on Mount Yotei. Wow. Just wow. Every part of this game is so beautiful, and I find myself stopping and staring so much throughout this adventure. I probably could have killed the Yotei 6 in half the time if I didn't spend so much time gawking. But no matter where I go, it keeps being gawk-worthy. I know, it's not a massive parking lot, which is too bad, but I'll take what I can get. Something far less beautiful is letting me kill every invader with my katana, but forcing me to kill the final guy up here with a special combo of my new dual blades. After such a travesty like that, I need to cool down with a long, peaceful stroll, playing some music, followed by delightful fox tippy taps. Then a brisk hike to the top of the world so I can have even greater views while playing my music in peace. Honestly, I've sort of forgotten my quest for vengeance by this point, and I'm just vibing. Not really embodying Atsu's character, am I? Fine, back to the murdering. In this bounty hunting case, I'm being murdered instead of doing the murdering, showing why I should have stuck with my bardic inspirations. Soma the Condemned is a master of water stance, my old favorite stance back when I was fighting off Mongol invaders. Now I understand their pain as his blade rips through me. This guy is condemned. Condemned to kill me for eternity, unless I can rip the blade out of his hand and quickly down him before he gets a chance to recover. Then we can combine music and murder into one as we play a final melody together till my target drifts off into the great beyond. Definitely not the worst way to go. That gives me the bounty hunter armor, my new favorite armor, instantly upgraded and ready to fight in. I bet you'll never guess my favorite color. If only looking so stylish was the equivalent of bear repellent, but it seems not. More than that, the bounty hunter armor actually makes the game much easier and harder all at once, as it takes away normal parries, but replaces them with easier perfect parries that allow 3 strikes in a row. That means normal attacks are way safer to deal with, but attacks I have to parry have become way more dangerous, as I'm nowhere near proficient with the timings. Still, style over safety. Oh, right, I'm supposed to be chasing the Oni, aren't I? Whoops, back to it. Jubei wasn't able to get me back Mad Goro, so I can use him to deceive my way into the Oni's castle, so that means Jubei has just volunteered to be the fake captive instead. Handing him over to the Oni so I can infiltrate the castle, I party for a bit, and then I sneak my way around to save Jubei. By sneak, I mean murder everyone I come across loudly and with much fuss. But same thing. I'm so glad stealth is never really enforced in this game, It really allows me to be as messy and bloody as I choose to be. Brother Dearest has had better days, but he's alright overall, sneaking with me to the top of the castle, where our plan immediately goes out the window. The escape is loud and painful, as I'm forced into using Horse Charge twice to break past all these guards, but only twice, as I can slash and heal through the rest of the defenses trying to hamper our escape. All in all, not the worst assassination attempt I've been party to. Jubei does not agree and isn't a fan of my rabid bloodlust, honorable samurai that he is, meaning this failure doubles as we part ways angry. What siblings haven't bickered about the moral sacrifices they're willing to make on the path of vengeance, though? I know mine have. At least I can save this bomb maker without using any explosives to help me. Immediately I love her too when she wishes me the best goodbye I've ever gotten.
Go be a problem.
I promise, I absolutely will. Joining her at Bear Rock, I'm understandably nervous being at a place with a name like that, and I'm proven right in my worries as I'm mauled again a couple times. Unbelievable. It's here though I finally realize Heavenly Slash followed by 2 quick follow-up strikes is my key to besting the bears. Unless I come across 2 at once protecting a bamboo stand. What are they? Wannabe pandas? Ah! At least the blind bombs I'm supposed to use on the enemies in Bear Rock, I can just throw harmlessly the wrong way. Somehow forcing myself to get back on track, I sneak in to break out Mad Goro so I can use him to break into the Oni's castle again. But we're interrupted first by my brother, then by the Oni himself, backed by his army. Speak of the devil. Or Oni. It is not difficult to hold back his forces, but it is a huge blow to the challenge, as I'm forced to blow them apart. It's cheating of them, though, when they do it back to us. Main character energy protects us, but the Matsumai camp has been demolished. Excellent! Now nothing will hold Jubei back from helping me break into the Oni's castle, so we can try again. He protects the captives while I seek to topple the Oni. I think I'm really clever using my sake to refill my spirit quickly so I can disarm the Oni multiple times and cut him down quickly. But then he has to show off another new addition into the combat of this game. A second health bar. I should have known! I'm the only one supposed to have multiple health bars! For 40 minutes, the Oni lets the devil out on me, as I prove my reliance on sake, spirit, and the last chance charm are what has gotten me this far, and I threw all that away in the first health bar. For such a big lad, he sure is fast, and he adds a lot of flourish and spins to his attacks, throwing my defense way off. Such rapid back-to-back strikes that almost always require parrying doesn't quite work out for me, but the bounty hunter armor is both too stylish and too useful to give up. I may struggle to land the perfect parries, but when I do, those 3 back-to-back hits make a valuable difference. Much more reliable to focus on perfect dodges, as they're easier to pull off, if far less rewarding, especially if I accidentally keep dodging instead of landing a follow-up attack. The positive is fight him long enough, and it's easy to see that he starts the duel with the same combo every time, making it a reliable counterpoint, followed by seeing the same combos so many times that I grow prepared for them, with a special love for whenever he tries to disarm me, as that gives me a key moment to disarm him instead. Follow that with perfect parries and perfect dodges repeatedly, so I can keep the Oni from doing most of his combos until the Oni is on his knees. Snake dead? Oni dead. 4 remain. But first, the true master of combat must be faced. Takezo the Unrivaled is not a threat at first. Then he messes me up by forcing me to use dual-wield katana to finish the fight, which sucks even worse for the fact that it teaches him a whole new fighting style. He learns so much faster than I do. While I go throw away 4,000 mon gambling terribly, Takezo trains and trains until we meet again on Mount Yotei's peak. He forces me to use specific charms to begin the duel, but I immediately change them out to my preferred charms the moment the fight begins. This won't mean much, as the Unrivaled is the most earned title I've seen yet. Where I thought the Eagle was too fast and eeky, she was actually just a matter of faint trouble. Takezo really is pure speed, and a master of the dual wield, evident in the fact that he can interrupt my perfect dodge slow-mo counterattack that no solo individual has ever interrupted by themselves in either game. He is the real main character. It doesn't matter the armor, the charms, or how close I can get him to defeat. Most progress is just luck. Well, that and perfect dodge being vital until it doesn't work out. He kills me for over an hour before I decide to return after I've improved my odds. Maybe he'll do me a favor and freeze to death up here in the meantime, but knowing him, he'll slice the cold before it ever touches him. I return to the plains to help my Yari sensei and the bomb maker destroy the Oni castle. There I'm tasked with blowing up the raiders, but I believe in my invincible farmer friends for that. Who needs skill when death won't take you? Unfortunately, the last raider archers share this trait, it seems. Only seems though, as the warriors do win after inflicting over 100 wounds on the archer. Even more raiders show up with explosives of their own, but their horrendous aims and just kill their own men. I literally did nothing nearly the entire mission, except 2 kills in a standoff, so I'm thinking we should just send these 3 farmers to defeat all of Saito's forces, and we're golden. They can't take any longer than I will, with how often I get distracted. Like when I investigate the tale of this ghostly general haunting his abandoned estate after the accidental murder of his own daughter. Now this is a ghost that I could really use Sam and Dean to deal with, or even Scooby and Shaggy to do some shenanigans here. But without him, I'll have to manage. It's definitely one of the sadder stories in all of Ghost, but the only danger is accidentally activating my fire sword and having to run away until it runs out. That, and the tears from how sad it all is. I might as well learn more weapons I can't use, like the odachi. It's not a problem to learn, and the only forced kill can be removed by just resetting the fight, or in my case, dying, because I forgot to reset purposely. One of the few times I'm thankful to get murdered. Heading to the north, I keep getting captured by the same group of Saito's captains. You'd think they'd learn, or I would, but nah. Worse than them is this legendary bear hunting me. I'm starting to think bears are a bigger threat than the Yotei 6. Why mock the bear from the high ground? It mocks me by knowing teleportation. I did not account for that, but I'll bear it in mind now. Even scarier is that I'm forced into using an arrow to defeat this supernatural beast. Heading even further north in search of the Kitsune, he ambushes me first and takes me out with a toxin delivered by a kunai. My wolf friend intervenes and saves me, but then it's purely Atsu's willpower yet again that pushes her on through the burden of poison and cold. Time to learn how to use the kunai so that when I refuse to use them, it's out of choice, not because I can't. And I can never get ambushed again if I'm always paranoid of being ambushed. Though I do have to wonder with these Ninetales. How long do they hide in these pots on the off chance an intruder manages to solve their door puzzles and just wanders on by? I hope the health insurance is worth these long waits. At this point, only the charms matter to me in terms of usefulness, as whatever armor I'm wearing is a matter of style, not what buffs they give me, since most don't help my playstyle. My health improvements from charms and constant bathing is what allows me to endure the rain of arrows while fleeing on horseback, so I don't have to fire back. And for those out-of-reach archers that fire from the trees, my hook does a really good job of removing their platforms so that they're in sword range. Working with my new friend Oyuki the Bard, we systematically wipe out the Ninetales operations across the north. Gaining enough upgrade materials out of the chests in the Ninetales bases, I now have enough to max improve my blade. Returning to Mount Yotei, I have some business to attend to. I cook up some mushrooms so that I can have an upgrade of better stagger in spirit for the rematch in the cold. Takezo beat me 10 more times, but finally, I got a hang of some of his parries. Once I understand that the first strike of basically every foe, including my unrivaled friend here, seems to come out way faster than every other hit, I'm much more prepared to perfect dodge or perfect parry, allowing me to avoid getting hit far more often. But if I do get hit, Last Chance Charm keeps me up until I can slash through just enough of his defense and then perfectly dodge him until he's the unrivaled no longer. If only he had greater ambitions, like saving everyone, than just being a master fighter. He could have single-handedly beaten all of Yotei 6 himself. Throw in those 3 farmers from before and it would be a godly team. With the true biggest threat neutralized, I now travel to learn how to use the kusarigama. Only pots, bamboo, and practice dummies need to fear its wrath. Well, that and my teacher, but that's his love language. I find that any enemy that uses the kusarigama, including the Kitsune himself, are the easiest foes to defeat. The Kitsune is a pushover, but he cheats with more poison. Honestly, pretty smart to do when you're this terrible at fighting. Oyuki saves my life and has me meet her later, but first, I gotta let some anger out on her after discovering her past. She's terrible at dueling as well, but maybe that's just because I softened her up first. To make things better, she teaches me to listen to my environment, and it turns out I have super hearing, able to pick up on breathing from far away. She also forces me to use a smoke bomb, but I can just stand and wait it out when resetting doesn't work. While investigating the Ninetales base, I discover the poison that they're using is the same one that Jin used before. Wow, I bet his uncle is rolling over in his grave at the ghost actions, causing so much havoc all these centuries later. But not for long, as the Kitsune really can't put up a good fight, can he? Style over substance. Why do I get a companion to fight the easiest boss, but not one to fight the Oni who caused me so much more pain? Jubei, you could have helped me there! I spend more time playing in photo mode here than I actually do worrying about the fight with how much he telegraphs his attacks. 3 dead, 3 to go. Samurai and beach suicide charges are more common of a match than I think, but I'm not one to judge when I rush right into a volley of gunfire thinking my rolling is enough to avoid damage. It is not. Instead of sneaking past these guys as is smart, I go loud and bring the whole group of them on us. But unlike last game, my companions really can hold their own, and so can I. With plenty of drinking to help me, that is. I don't even know if it's possible for companions to go down in Yotei, and I deeply appreciate that. Unless it's scripted, it seems. Here's where Jubei puts his life on the line to save hostages, expecting me to protect him with the use of a musket. For whatever reason, my logic is if I have to use the musket, it's better to keep them from killing Jubei by killing him myself. The game doesn't seem to like that, so fine. I'll shoot the child instead. No one seems to care, including the child I just shot at, so fire a barrel it is. Good thing shooting the child didn't work. It turns out that she's Jubei's daughter. Everything he does is for her. I feel like I've seen this somewhere before. I'm just glad Kata is safe. Kiku. A new land stretches out before me, but first, a tea break. Gotta make Uncle Iroh proud. I should probably take the mask off, but Atsu's making it work. Honestly, ever since the defeat of the Unrivaled, combat hasn't been really much of a problem. It clicked there on Mount Yotei for me. Dodging the first strikes and then reacting properly to the rest, just like I approach duels, really minimizes how much I have to rely on my reaction speed, cause it's not that great. Unless they have guns, because wow, bullets are really fast, aren't they? The more you know. My gun problems don't stop there, as sadly in the pursuit of a tale called Guns and Consequences, my consequence is shooting a gun. But my enemy's consequence is being dead, so I guess I get off light. The guns really give me trouble for a while, but at least because of that, I figure out that Heavenly Slash makes me too fast to be shot, and it won't cost any spirit if it doesn't hit anyone. There is armor that allows me to deflect bullets, but it's not stylish enough for me, so better I just risk death by gunfire, right? In really positive news, I discover the legend of Jin's tale. He actually got a happy-ish ending, it looks like. Aww, Yuna's blade! Child art! Or, like, Jin just really wasn't good at art. Who knows? This whole thing is gonna make me cry. But I don't have time to cry when there's so many people that need to be killed. Sneaking my way into this party, well, massacring my way into this party, brings me before the Spider, one of the sons of Saito, and forces me into the terrifying ghost stance. Definitely no can do, with dual wielding being the way she does it. Better to just aura farm with it and wait it out. The enemies are all still one-hit kills, even if they seem limitless, which works out, since the Spider doesn't like to let me land hits on him, so Heavenly Slash will do it for me until his men finally stop coming and we can finish this properly. But more importantly than anything else, what kind of bird is this? I really gotta know. With the spider captured, we can lure out his brother, the dragon, which may not have been the best plan since Saito's forces attacked the castle instead of us, with only the dragon picking a fight with me before we can execute his brother. The dragon prioritizes saving his family, while Atsu prioritizes her revenge over protecting her family, her brother, and her niece. The price of revenge is great, especially as the dragon isn't willing to just let me win. He whips his pistol out so much faster than I'm ready for, and the spider lays down fire from afar. It is a very well-designed fight, I will say, so I'm not even that bothered by my repeat deaths. I'm a little bothered, but not that much. Being hyper-paranoid of being shot, and getting used to those parry timings, plus running like a mad woman away whenever I'm disarmed, allows me to slay the dragon and scare off the spider. But Oyuki and Jubei are both MIA. Still, the view is as great as ever, so it's not all bad. And so begins the final hunt. And so ends the final hunt immediately when I choose to leap before looking. But if I don't do that, it is not so bad slaughtering my way through Saito's fortress until I reach Jubei. Going Ghost gives him the distraction he needs to get a weapon, though really, was he ever in danger? My brother sure can take a hit. So close to escaping with my rescued companions, that's when the game turns evil on me again, with another forced horse charge, followed by having to fire on explosive barrels so they don't kill this horse. And I guess me, but I'm used to it. Well, now nothing between me and Saito as everything else is done. Saito knows the value of ending this where it began, a classic way. I commend his good taste. It's the only good thing he has going for him, it seems. Personality-wise anyway, the many weapons he's highly skilled in are definitely going for him as well. The polearm and the odachi I worry about as I struggle to keep up with the speed of his attacks, but the kusarigama and the shield are a joy to see whenever he pulls them out, as they're highly predictable and easy to avoid. Still, it would take a little over 20 duels before I can break his weapon and force him into using his sword. Now my brother Dearest and I can fulfill our lifelong dream, team up, and pummel this old man! But like I feared, Jubei is not making it through this story and is killed by Saito. On the bright side, it turns out Saito's sword is much easier than his other weapons. I do die, of course. I'm not that skilled after all. But while I first quaked in fear at seeing Saito has a spirit bar of his own, that's actually my best asset on two fronts. At 3 spirit, he unleashes a powerful combo that will surely kill me. Unless I just heavenly slash at the cost of my 1 spirit and interrupt him. That works. Plus, unlike most other duels, Saito won't keep pausing the fight to chat unless he has his full 3 spirit. That really does make a big difference, so I can just keep hitting him. Otherwise, this is a pretty straightforward sword duel, and I've done enough of those to achieve victory. It's a little too late for my twin wolf though. At least we went through the whole game without dueling each other. That's more than some other people can say. I hope that's a comfort for him. With my quest for revenge over and a new life obtained, we can say huzzah! After 524 deaths over 55 hours, 30 minutes, I've 100% Ghost of Yotei with only the single katana, except in the case of 11 forced attacks that weren't sword related. Which isn't too bad since it was a 100% run. More adventures in Yotei are in the future, but for now, I'll see you friends. Have a phenomenal day.